I'm so glad it's Friday. Um, it's not that hot right now, but it's still early. Sometimes you want to help somebody. It could be your own family, your child, your grown child, not little children. Little children, you help no matter what. You could have like family members, a brother, sister, a daughter, a son, and you want to help them. A friend, boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a best friend. But you gotta let people do their thing. You gotta let people live their life. You know, it's really hard, especially when it's a child, a grown child, and you try to tell them something because obviously you're smarter and you have more wisdom than they, or I shouldn't say smarter, but you have more wisdom, more life experience, and you try to tell them something and they just think they know it all. Some grown kids, your friend, anybody, it could be anybody, but it's frustrating when you try to tell someone something and you try to help someone. And it's one thing, like people say, oh, you want to help me, give me money. Okay. And what does it say? My mother used to say something, it's in the Bible somewhere. Like, instead of giving the person something, teach them how to do it. Like, instead of giving them the fish, teach them how to fish. I don't know. But some people just don't want to listen. And even if you love them and you say, no, I'm telling you, this is the way, because you gotta let you gotta let people learn life. I didn't always know what I know today. And what I'll know 5 years from now, I don't know right now. Life is a journey. It's about learning. It's about growth. You might be in grade 12 of life. Somebody could be in grade 7 of life. The person in the 7th grade of life is not going to see what the person in the 12th grade of life already sees and knows. And you can't force it. You just can't. You just can't. It's frustrating, especially for a person like me. It's frustrating, but you can't. Let's say I know someone. Let's say that I have a family member, and I'm like, look, this is going to lead to this, and then in a year or two you can have this, and this if you do this now. I know what I'm doing. Okay. You don't have it. You took this long in life to learn, so what makes you think you could tell me? Okay, maybe you're right. I took this long in life to learn, but now that I've actually learned it, don't waste years like I did. Take my years of experience and wisdom and let it benefit you so that you don't have to take this long to learn. You know, some people that you love will say hurtful things, man, really hurtful things to you. And I hate this truck. And you, it's fucking annoying. And you could be hurt, but sometimes you gotta just let go. And as religious people would say, let go and let God. I let go and I let it be. You know, shit. I can't. It's hard for me to talk in riddles, so I'm just gonna talk. I'm gonna keep it 100 like I always do, even when I keep it 100 with everything else. So you know, I had moved in with my daughter a few months ago because I had a plan. I'm paying $2,300 a month for rent, bitch. I'm not rolling like that. They raised the rent. It was 18, then it went to 23. I'm not. You know, they taking advantage. By the time you pay all the sewer, electric, and gas, garbage disposal, all that, you know, it comes up. I said, no. This is ridiculous. Let's work together. You know, we band together. We all pile up like how foreigners, like Mexicans do. You know, people come over here across the border and they all shack up. But the next thing you know, in 2 years, everybody has their own big ass house in Gwinnett County. Like, so I said, you know, let's work together. If we work together in 1 year, I could have a house. Y'all can have a house. Can have money in the bank saved. You can have your nest egg. Yeah. Let's band together. It's going to be a little uncomfortable because nobody wants to pile up, you know. Let's band. Things didn't work out. Long story short. Okay, I have another idea, you know. No. Okay, but you're not listening. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Fuck that. Okay. I moved out. I got my own spot. I'm not paying $2,300, but I'm paying a lot of money. You know, it's a lot more than half of whatever I was paying. So it's okay because it just means that I have to get my hustle on a little bit harder. It means that You know, don't get too relaxed. Sometimes you think, okay, no, but I could have been saving so much. Okay, all you got to do is step up your game, Natasha, because now you're not going to be paying half. You're going to be paying all of your own shit, but you also have now back your peace of mind. I love living alone. I love being alone. I don't like drama. I don't like stress. I don't like arguments. I don't like fussing. I don't like fighting. Peace to me is more valuable than money. I can make the money if I'm at peace. But if I'm constantly arguing with you and constantly fussing about, I can't, there's no peace. Peace of mind is number one for me. That's all I can say. But moral of the story, morning rant, you know, you got to learn to let things and people be. You got to be okay with controlling the only thing that you have control over is your mind and your reactions to things. You got to be okay with that, because if you try, even when you have the best intention, the best interest, and you love someone and you try, people going to be people. People going to do them. They're going to do things their way. And most people, not everybody, but most people are not smart enough or wise enough or emotionally mature enough to stop and say, whoa, let me think about this. Okay, you know what? Let me take the wisdom of somebody that knows, because they've been there, done that. Let me take this wisdom. Most people, especially in this day and age, are not going to do that. You have to know that, how does somebody say you can't pour from an empty cup? If you're always trying to save someone, if you're always trying to help someone, you're eventually going to drain. And then the people that you're trying to help, their cups are already empty. So you're trying to pour in their cup. Now, when you're empty, then it's two people with two empty cups. You got to know when to say, you know what? Like I just did. I walked away from my daughter because, no, let her do her. She's not the type of person that's gonna listen. She's not she doesn't respect me half the time, and I love her dearly, but she's not the type of person. She has to learn the hard way, just like I did. And unfortunately, for the sake of my nieta, I wanted her not to have to learn the hard way, because my grandbaby's there, and my grandbaby's a year old. She's involved, and I'm like, no, I don't want you to suffer, because if you suffer, my little baby suffers. You're a grown woman. You want to make bad choices. But my little baby suffers, and I don't want that. But it was my little grandbaby's choice to come into this world, into this body. I do believe that. She may not remember it right now, but our spirits come back here for a reason. And I got to do what I can do, but in a hands-off kind of way. Also, I want to say something which I told her, and she did agree with this. I'm going to say something positive. Whenever I say something, I'm always going to put the glass half full spin on it. So I told her this before. A man is not married to you. Don't call him your husband. Barely call him your man. Your baby daddy, your lover, whatever you want to call him. But I made this mistake too. I called her baby's daddy my son-in-law a couple times. He's not. We did that in high school. We say, oh, my husband, my boy, if he's your boyfriend, if he's not your husband, don't call him your husband. I told her. I said, because at the end of the day, you don't have wife benefits, okay? You got girlfriend benefits, which aren't much. If the person is not your husband, legally, don't call him your husband. If the person is not your wife, if you feel that but I feel in my heart, okay, well, then get married. And I told him the same thing. If you feel in your heart that's your wife, marry her. Everything else is an excuse. Well, I need to get my shit together first. You can get your shit together. It's just a piece of paper, so then give her the piece of paper. I told my if it's just a piece of paper, and give her the satisfaction and the security of that legal piece of paper. It's an excuse. Ladies, if a man says he can't marry you because X, Y, and Z, it's an excuse. When a man is in love, the same things you can do for him and he can do for you while you're not legally married, you can do for each other married. If a man doesn't legally marry you, it's because he doesn't want to. And if he doesn't want to, that's the question you have to ask. But playing house and pretending to be someone's wife and pretending to be someone's husband is bullshit. If a man or a woman tells you, well, I don't want to get legally married because it's just a piece of paper. Oh, bullshit. Well, if it's just a piece of paper, give me that piece of paper for my peace of mind. Anything else is bullshit. And I told my daughter, you look fucking stupid calling this man. If there's he cheated and there's another man, there's another woman out there. Well, if there's another woman out there that he cheated with, whatever, and he's not married to you, and you're telling that other woman, this is my husband, you look like the fool. I told my daughter, you look like the fucking fool. Because both of you are on the same ground. Well, he stays here, he lives here, and he does more for me. Oh my God. So he does more for you, so that makes you, oh, that makes you the bigger fool. If you do more for him, that makes you the bigger fool. If a man truly in his heart and a woman wanted to be married, they'd be married. If they're not married, it's because they don't want to be. Everything else is an excuse. And if you're playing house, whoever the one is that's investing their time and energy and playing house, if you're a man and you're playing house with a woman and she won't marry you, she's using you. She's playing you. Period. Period. Why won't she marry you then? Because she wants you. She wants the benefits of you being her play husband, but she doesn't want that commitment because she's waiting for something better to come along. Wake the fuck up, dudes. If you got a woman, this goes for men and women. Guys, if you're with a woman and you're doing for her like you're her husband, you're a fool. Period. Ladies, if you're with a man and you're doing for him like he's your husband and he's not married to you, you're a fool. Call it what it is. Be honest with yourself. Stop playing yourselves. Stop playing yourselves. I said this to a woman about 4 or 5 years ago. She was with this guy that helped me get my CDL, who was a narcissist. And she was talking about, she changed her last name online and everything. And it's like, boo, you're not his wife. You're not legally married. You're not legally married. You could have 10 babies by a nigga. He's not your husband. You look like a fucking fool. If he wanted to marry you, he would. The man told me out of his own mouth many years ago. And I gave her a ring. And if I can remember his exact words, this was years ago. This is old news. But he said, she's young, she's beautiful. She is. I don't know if she's still beautiful. She's getting older. But he said, Natasha, what have I got to lose? He said, yeah, I'm going to marry her. He said, yeah, I gave her. No, he said, yeah, I'm going to give her a ring. Yeah, I gave her a ring. And he said, I probably will marry her. He said, we ain't set no date. He was like, but this is exactly, she got mad at me. She took me to court. She tried to ruin me. She tried to fuck my life up because she didn't like the truth. This was years ago, old news, but I'm just bringing it up because she changed, in her mind, she changed her own last name. They weren't legally married. I don't know what they are now. This was like 5 years ago. But she called herself his wife, and she wasn't. And he said to me, what do I have to lose? If I marry her, what do I got to lose? She got her shit together. She had her own place. She had a house at 20-something. He said, the only thing I don't like is how she pushed herself on my mom. He said, I like the way you think when it comes to other family members. You don't give a fuck. He said, I don't like how she goes, like her and her mom are like this, and she tells all my business to her. He said, I don't like that shit. He said, I don't like how she injected herself into my mother's life. He said, but what do I got to lose? It's a benefit being with her. He said, she got her own shit. She's beautiful. She's carrying my kid. She got it going on. He's like, he gets free flight privileges. She used to work for the airline. I don't know what that's going on. But he said, what the fuck do I have to lose? And I said, you're absolutely right. I can't argue that point. I said, it's a win-win for you. But if I were her mother, you know what I would say? You're a fucking fool. That man is not marrying you. Anybody can give somebody a fucking ring. But why won't he legally marry you? I don't know. They're probably married by now. I don't know. But like I told my daughter, don't claim any man that hasn't claimed you. Don't give yourself any labels that you haven't gotten legally, seriously, and for real. Well, he feels like my husband in my heart. Well, clearly you don't feel like his wife in his heart because he would marry you if he did.